So, oh, shoot, fly in my room. Anyway, what's this one if it's not the Star Theory? Episode 2. So, the Major Digital Circus, episode 1 I talked about, was really good at introducing the characters, which I agree with. That's the whole thing that I think Van did really well at. So, what did episode 2 do? Well, episode 2, in my opinion, kind of brings more of the characterizations forward and shows the adventures. It kind of shows the idea, even though the adventures were, I think, during the beginning of the season because of characterizations, it is showing the forefront of here is what it is. Here is the idea of what it is. I also love the joke of LARPer. Being like, our lives are just LARPing? And it's like, well, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. And I find that funny. Sorry, I forgot something. Okay, I'll fix it later. Um, but when you carry on and you see one thing, there's a whole thing about like Pomni supposedly having more anger issues, and some of the stuff does show, but it's to show that idea of moving forward. It's the whole premise of the show, being like if you're in a situation, trying to communicate with people and moving forward always helps. And I think this is the first episode that kind of leans towards it, right? Because you have the whole situation with the last one, but this one not only has the nightmares that's kind of resolved and kind of shown that thing. Also, I think it's interesting that when Pomley sees people rescue, I don't think Jack's hand was there, which is interesting in my opinion, but that's besides the point. Then you have the funeral and showing the connection, showing trying to come together is actually useful. Um, you also have the situation with Gummigoo where they get trapped and try to get out. I also think it's something interesting and something that I can't get it being mishandled and not used as well. The quote of "Who knows what could happen" when they brought up the idea. Now, here's the thing: could this be a thing of one of them's an AI and not a human? Yes, but they're all AI. So what's the real difference between Jax and Gummigoo on a coding level? There probably isn't. And if he didn't want to delete them for some reason, and they probably don't delete them now because they're like, yeah, these are our friends. We don't want them to be deleted, even if they're like this. They probably want to like keep them around. So you could make the argument that he's like, well, I can delete them, but I can't delete them for what I believe for some reasons. It's not the best reasoning because again, none of them are proven to be AI because technically all of them are AI. So technically, if anyone's claimed any one of them before the finale that they were AI, you're technically not wrong. You're not right, as in Kane didn't make them, but technicalities aside, I do get why that's a contention because, but I do like the fact that if you look at some of the other things, I think it's from like one of the YouTube posts or like a poster or something like that, you see Gummigoo's photo being put on. And yes, it would have been fun to see them come back, but I'll bring that up tomorrow or today because it's recording today. You get my point. Why I think that's not exactly needed. But yeah, I hope you enjoy and good night.